friends, today I have a tutorial for you on how I make my Enveloboxes. I make them all the time because I make a lot of bulky cards, since that's kind of my style. So today I thought I'd share how to make them and as well as give you some ideas on how you can decorate them. So here is a dimensional card that I want to protect, so I don't want to put it in a flat envelope. I want to put it in an Envelobox. Here's a way I've decorated this one on the back and also on the front and ready to personalize it with the person's name. I'm also going to show you how to make a 6x6 envelope because this is a size that is commonly used. You get a 1/4 inch depth on that one. So we're going to make the 6x6 and then the 4 1/4 by 5.5 A2 standard. Okay, let's get started. Now to create an A2 size Envelobox, you're going to need a paper that measures 8.5 by 8.5 inches squared. I'm going to take my Martha Stewart scoring board because this is what I've had a lot of questions about making these boxes on. And I'm going to put the envelope maker on the top left corner, making sure that it's flushed all the way to the sides. Now I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to make sure it's flush to the envelope maker as well as the left point all the way to the left. Now I'm going to find my first measurement, which is 2 5/8. So that means you're going to start at 2 and count 5 spaces and score there. That's 2 5/8. Then my second measurement is 3 1/8. So that's the very first line after the 3. Now you're going to go to the other side. You're going to go 180 degrees and do the very same measurements on this side. So the first score line is 2 5/8. So that means count 5 spaces after the 2. That's your 2 5/8. And then 3 1/8. So the very next line after the 3-inch mark. Now you're going to turn it so that you have the next unscored space, and you're going to do different measurements now. Now you're going to do 3 1/4, which is the very first dot after the 3, and then 3 3/4, which is the second dot after the 3, and then 180 degree turn and do the very same measurements again. 3 1/4. That's the first dot after the 3, and then 3 3/4, which is the second dot after the 3. Okay, now we've done the scoring and we're ready to fold and continue with the Envelobox. Now I hope you can see that you have the score lines there. Now you have the middle part, which is where your envelope's going to go, the top, bottom, and then the 2 sides. So you want to make little tabs for your Envelobox because it does help to construct it that way. So you're going to find your score lines, and oh, I don't know if you can see it, but you're going to be cutting on those lines. So you're going to make the first cut, the second cut, and then cut out the 2 little triangles at those intersecting points. And that creates your very first little tab. You're going to do the same thing to the other side. You want to find your cutting line so that you're making your tabs that are parallel. So cut out those little triangles and you have your next tab. Do this, so now you have your 2 little side tabs there. You're going to turn your paper and do the very same things to the next side. So cut to make your 2 tabs and then cut your 2 little triangles out. So this creates your third tab. Next side, cut on the lines and then cut out those 2 little triangles. Okay, so now you have your very last tab. So you have your 2 little tabs there and your 2 little tabs at the bottom. So now we're going to be ready to finish the Envelobox. So there's your middle panel where your card's going to be. I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to determine that I'm going to use this as the bottom. And I'm going to burnish it so that I have a clean fold mark. Now there are my 2 sides to the left and the right of it. Since I've decided this is going to be my bottom and that's the top, I'm going to do something with that little point. Otherwise it just sticks out and it doesn't look attractive. I usually use a corner punch, so I add a little decorative element. So I'm using here the Butterfly Martha Stewart corner punch. I put the paper into the punch, and then I punch out that little butterfly. So I'm going to trim, very simple, trim off those little ends that didn't detach completely, which is not a big deal at all, and it won't even affect how your envelope looks. So now you're going to have that cute little butterfly decorative element instead of some point or just an awkward fold. Now we're going to continue with the envelope box, and we're just going to fold all those score marks, and I'm using the bone folder so I can get some crisp, clean folds. So I'm doing that all the way around the envelope box. Okay, so I know that those are my sides, and then this is going to be my bottom flap to create the box, and then I have my top flap. Now what I want to do is I want to adhere those little flaps so I can create the base of the box. So I'm going to use this Scotch glue. It's a really great glue because it holds really well and it's very easy to use. So I put a little glue on there. I'm going to make sure that I line up those edges. You can also use the corner of your Martha Stewart scoreboard to make sure that it's a perfect corner. But I kind of have made a lot of these, so I'm pretty good about knowing where it is. So then I'm going to add adhesive there to that side. And just hold it for a minute. Not even that long, just hold it for a few seconds so the glue can set a little bit. But what I like about this glue is that once it's set, it holds. It's not going anywhere. Alright, so there we go. Now we're going to tuck in those flaps. And we're going to, that's it. So we're going to add adhesive to the bottom flap. So I'm going to put adhesive along the edge there, not putting any on the butterfly, of course. You can also add a little bit of adhesive there instead if you want. So now I'm going to press it gently. I'm going to stick my hand inside. Sometimes I stick a little foam pad to kind of help me out there too. So I'm just going to give it a few rubs, little squeezes, and that's it. That's all it takes. And then you have that cute little decorative element with the butterflies. Now with the little side tabs at the top, you can fold them over and tuck them in, but I really find they just get in the way. So but there you see, you can just tuck them in. What I do, I just snip them right off. So I think it makes it easier and less of a hassle when you take them off. So that's what I do. Alright, so there it is. Your envelope box is complete. So this is ready for your bulky card or something that you want to protect. So that's for the A2. And there's the envelope box that I decorated before. Okay, so to make the 6x6 envelope box, well, here's another example. So this one I used pattern paper just to decorate the front of the box using the same elements that are on the card. I made a little closure there, and then there's the card. And the card also matches the front of the box, and it protects the bow and those little buttons from being squished in a regular envelope. So there's a 6x6, and then this 6x6 envelope was created with a sheet of double-sided pattern paper, which is nice to use because then you have an automatic liner built in when you use double-sided paper. So that one's really simple. So you can use any kind of paper. It all really works really well. I even made them out of vellum and they look really beautiful. So now to make the 6x6 box, you're going to take and you're going to use a square sheet of paper that measures 10 by 10 inches. And you're going to do the very same thing, so I'm not going to go through with it. Do it over since it's the same thing. But you don't need to worry about doing a little corner punch because all the sides will line up perfectly, so no need to add a little decorative element there unless you want to. So there you have it. You have a 6x6 Envelobox and an A2 size 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks. Here are a few quick tips. First, you can use any kind of paper you'd like. Obviously, the heavier the paper, the sturdier your Envelobox will be. 2, you can use any adhesive you like as long as it's a nice aggressive adhesive because you don't want your box to fall apart. And 3, make sure you decorate your box before you assemble it. Thanks for watching.